Alright you guys, and now we are into all of my like smaller palettes and my drawer of monochromatic palettes. So we're going to go through these probably pretty quickly because I think there's some stuff here it's time to go. So let me start with these. I love this little like camera lens vibe that they did for these palettes, these little Smashbox trios. So I have this one here which has a really pretty blue in it. I have this kind of like pinky one. I have more of a cool toned one. And then I have this kind of more reddish one. I think for sure I can get rid of the pinky one and the reddish one. I think I'm not quite ready to get rid of these two, but I think I'll get rid of these two. So 2 for 2. Let's talk about some more Odin's Eye. This is the Erd palette, which is this beautiful like smoky green color story. Definitely not getting rid of this one. It's so pretty. And I love the packaging on it. Like I love this kind of like hollow detail that they do. Very pretty. And then they have the Alva Mini Forest palette, which looks like this. This again is super cute. Odin's Eyes shimmers are just like, they are so pretty. Even if you use another palette for mattes, using these for the shimmers is definitely worth it. So we'll hang on to that. And then I have this one from Kaleidos, which is I think the only Futurism palette I have. And I really love this color story. I take this traveling probably almost every single trip I go. This ends up in my bag as like just in case I want to use it for like a really cool like smoky kind of look. These colors all look so nice together. I think we probably didn't need both of these. They could have maybe done something a little bit different there, but here they both are, so I put up with it. But the rest of the palette more than makes up for it, and I love the packaging. Alright, let's talk through some e.l.f. palettes here. I have the Acai You, the Rose Water, I think this is Truffles. What is this? Yeah, Truffles, and Hot Jalapeno. I just feel like I have I think I have enough palettes in other places that I don't necessarily need to keep these. The only one that's like really special is this one. But like, are the shimmers? I mean, the shimmers are okay. They're just not like as stunning as they could be. So I feel like I'll probably let all 4 of those go, and then like I have so many other small palettes, clearly I don't need them for like their size, so we'll let those 4 go. Let's talk about That's My Jam from Too Faced. I just picked this up. This is a really pretty sparkly shade, and I think it's actually kind of similar to the shade in the Odin's Eye that I let go. So it's not a perfect dupe, but it's kind of similar. And then I think I have some Cleona shades that are similar enough too. So definitely going to hang on to that. This one I really like. I don't know why, because it's really not that special, but it's the Black Pearl palette from Makeup Revolution, or I Heart Revolution actually, but it is really nice. It smells kind of Play-Doh-y, as a lot of drugstore eyeshadows do, but the quality is really nice, so I'm going to hang on to that for now. This Wet n Wild one I think I can let go. I got it to see if it would be like a dupe for some of these other like kind of cool toned palettes, and I paid a whole penny for this because I had a coupon at Walgreens, so I'm going to let that one go. Smashbox and Vlada. See, this is really pretty, and it's still a really nice condition. But I have so many things that are like this. I don't know. I'm tempted to hang on to it because it's like iconic, right? Like this is like 2015, 2016 makeup, right? History, at least. So, we'll see. I'll hang on to it for now, but it may not survive the next declutter. And then the Violet Voss Sweet Violet palette looks like this. Again, this is really pretty. These 2 shades I think are my favorite in here. I'm going to swatch them out here and see when we get to the purple ColourPop palettes. If there's something that's enough similar to these, then I'll let this one go. So that's in our maybe pile for now. Just a Glitch and Digital Playground. I do really like these 2, so I'm going to hang on to those. I have 2 Natasha Denona palettes, one that I picked up myself and one that my good friend Emily got for me. So hi Emily, if you're watching. Definitely going to be hanging on to these. These are such beautiful quality. Alright. Next, let's talk about my Unique Beauty palettes. These are all so pretty. I definitely don't think any of these is going to be going away anytime soon, but I'll show them all to you. Oof, This one is very, very fragile, as you can tell, but I do think it's really pretty. Oh, and you know what? This blue, oh yeah, I think this blue might work for that Nubian palette that I was still thinking over. Yeah, I think that'll be a good substitute for the Nubian palette, so I just have 2 more shades to find there. This is the Bubble Time palette, the Pamper Me palette. This is so pretty too. Oh, it's like a green to pink duochrome. Very, very pretty. The Tokyo palette there. This is the Tokyo Volume 1. That was a Volume 3. And then this one. See, just beautiful, beautiful colors. See, and I have these 2 shades right here that are so similar to that Vlada palette, but they're like way more foily. Like, look at that. It's practically like having metal on your hand. So maybe I'll let the Smashbox one go. We'll send that to a better home. All right, this is a little ColourPop quad. This is the one in Sorbet. I wore this to my stepsister's wedding because I left my makeup at home when I needed to get ready. So I picked that one up and it worked out really nicely. I'll hang on to that. This Hello Kitty palette, believe it or not, is like one of the only palettes I found that has a really pretty like iridescent white to yellow kind of a shade, which I've now swatched over top of something that was dark, so it doesn't look as special, but this shade is really nice in this palette, so I'm going to hang on to that. God, I'm destroying this blanket. Oh well. This is a Copacetic Cosmetics quad. Very, very beautiful. I love these flaky shades in here. This is the first thing that I picked up from them, so I'll hang on to this one. Now I don't get their palettes, though. I just buy the singles and I put them in a magnetic palette. Makeup by Mario, really beautiful little quad. I don't use the gold so much in here, but the other 3 shades work really nicely together, so I'm going to hang on to that. And I think that's the only Makeup by Mario thing that I have, believe it or not. All right, these beautiful Too Faced palettes. I love these. They smell so good too. This is another one of those like black-brown kind of pigments. Very, very pretty. And then you've got this really nice shimmery gold and then this champagne color that I always use when I go in there, like pure metal. I really like these palettes so much. Definitely hanging on to these. This is the Razzle Dazzleberry, I think. Yeah, stupid names, but very, very pretty color story. Still smells like berry. And then this was the Papaya. This was the 3rd one that they came out with like a year later. And this one has a really pretty peach to gold duochrome in it. I like all 3 of these. Definitely hang on to these. So let's talk about Snow Angels. This was a gift from a friend of mine, and I really like this color story too, so I'm going to be hanging on to that one. Blushing Berries. Do you see how little I've used this? I feel like I can probably let this one go because I have the Melt Gemini palette, and I think the Gemini gives me more of what I want than this one does, so I think I'll probably let that one go. And then NYX Ultimate Edit. This is like a rainbow palette. I don't even know if I've opened this palette yet. I don't even think I've opened this one, so I think I can let this one go because I haven't even gotten a chance to open it yet, and if I haven't even opened it, like, let somebody else use that one. And then Mad for Matte 2. This was another palette I brought on my honeymoon, believe it or not. And I do think it's pretty, but I think I've kind of outgrown it, so I'm going to go ahead and let that one go. Let's talk about these absurd neon palettes here while we're at it. So this is the like pinky purple neon. I just like the shimmers in these, but sometimes they're really hard to like build up nicely. But like the pink and the orange there, I mean the orange has like a blue sparkle in it. That's so cool. I do really like that, so I'll hang on to it. And then this one, I love this shade in the center, but it got like super duper hard pan, so now you have to like dig at it to get it to come up. But if you can get some off on it, it's a really pretty like frosty green color. These just were like not her best work, unfortunately. I wish she would reformulate these and re-release them in a way that they like looked nice, because they're just very soft. Like you need a lot of glitter glue and you have to dig hard in these with a pan, like with a hard brush to get them up because of the hard pan. So keep for now, but kind of disappointing. All right, let's talk about this one. This one is a really good one. I really, really like this one. I love these shades in here, and I love this one in the middle with the dragon scale on it, so definitely going to hang on to her. And then this is the Nicka K makeup brand. It's like a really value brand, but I did really like this palette. I think it has some beautiful kind of like red tones in it. It's kind of similar to that Huda Beauty palette though, so I think I can probably let this one go because I have the Huda palette. Then we have these little peachy palette here. This one, see, I always open these thinking I can go ahead and get rid of them, and then when I open them I'm like, but they're so pretty. Like, they just have such beautiful shimmers in them. I don't know. And then I have this little avocado one here, which I'm obsessed with avocados. I definitely think I'm going to keep this one, but I think I'll let the peach one go. Alright, let's talk about some Wander Beauty, and then we'll talk about some Nabla, I think. This is the Wanderous Seascape palette. These palettes are kind of like tricky to use because their formulas are a little bit weird, but the actual like colors themselves are pretty, so I think I'll hang on to that one. It makes a nice little travel palette. And then same thing with this one. It just has these really pretty like duochromes, and again another like pink to gold duochrome in here that I just can't seem to walk away from, so I'm going to hang on to those. Nabla palettes, unlikely I'm getting rid of any of these. The Wild Berry palette, one of my favorites. It has this beautiful duochrome here that flips to like a blue fuchsia kind of shade, and I love the berry tones in here. Definitely keeping. The Coral Cutie palette looks like this. This orange shade here is like no other. It's so pretty and sparkly, and I think it actually, I think it's similar enough to this one. I think it's definitely more sparkly. So I think I will keep this one, of course, but I might be able to let the Ace Beauty one go now. The Midnight palette looks like this. Really, really stunning. This blue is just like so pretty. This whole palette is really pretty, so definitely hanging on to that one too. And then this is the sort of, what is this one called? Analog palette. I really like, this is like an orange to gold duochrome, which I think is really pretty. And then this really nice like smoky brown shade. So definitely hang on to that. Let's talk about some Juvia's Place here in a second. We'll talk about this Fatal Beauty Frankenslay palette. I have a video about this palette up on my channel, and it looks like this. This is an eye-safe glitter, allegedly, according to the brand. I like this color story. These definitely take a little bit of building. I mean, this one the most because it's more of like a neon shade, but I do think it's a really cool color story. I like this little glittery thing, so I'm going to keep it. Plus, the vibe of this palette is so cool. Alright, Juvia's Place. We've got the violets, the pinks, the blushed rose, the Olori 2, the berries, and the mauves, which all look like this. And let's see, I think the purples from Sweet Violet are a little bit different from these purples. They don't quite, this is definitely more cool toned. I definitely want to keep that, and I definitely want to keep Olori. I really like this shade in the, it's like a pink with blue shift in it. You can see right there. Very, very pretty. So definitely want to hang on to that one. The berries one, see, this is so pretty. This like red shade here with this like nice pink. Yeah, I think I'll end up hanging on to all these. I just really like these Juvia's Place 6 pans. I know a lot of people didn't really like the Olori 2 palette, but I thought it was really nice, so I'm going to hang on to all of those. This Wet n Wild quad right here, very, very cute, but I feel like I have a lot of stuff already that looks like this. I love these deep smoky tones, but because I kept She's and Parties, I think I can probably let this one go. So we'll go ahead and declutter that. Coming to America palettes, I like these cute little mini palettes. So this is the one that's like really nice and bright. And then the other one, the only thing that sucks is they look exactly the same on the outside, so you never know which one you're picking up. And then this one looks like this. I love this blue shade here, so I definitely need to get some more use out of those two. We'll hang on to them. These ColourPop palettes on a whimsy and Ticket to Dreamland, I just filmed a review with them yesterday, or a palette ranking with these yesterday. And I do think that they have like pretty packaging. The color stories just don't do it for me. So I think I'm going to save them, and then at some point when I get more shades that are in this size, I'm going to rearrange them to a color story that I really like, because the packaging is like awesome, but the inside color stories are just so light and so beige. So save for now. Now we have Midas Lemonade palette. This palette pissed me off because I had five shades fall out of this palette the minute I opened it when I first received it. And then yesterday I was filming a palette ranking video and this shade fell out. So now 6 of the 9 pans have all fallen out, which is really, really frustrating. The one shade that I really liked was this one up here because it's this really pretty like white to gold flip. And I need to see if I have anything else in my collection that is similar to that so I can let this palette go, because I just don't think I need to hang on to it if it's just going to upset me every time I try to use it. And let me compare it to the Hello Kitty one. So Hello Kitty has a similar shade here, and then it also has kind of a similar shade there. This one looks a little bit more like yellow. And then these two, yeah, I mean, they definitely have a very similar vibe. I don't think I necessarily need to keep both of them. I probably shouldn't have purchased both of them to begin with, but I really wanted to try this palette out. But yeah, I think I can probably let this Lemonade palette go. It's the invasion of ColourPop, let me tell you. Okay, let me do this palette and this palette here quick, and then the rest are ColourPop. So, Sugar Drizzle, I love this palette. This is so, so pretty. Definitely hang on to this one. And then this is the Essence Water Palette, which I actually think is a really beautiful color story, so I'm going to be hanging on to that one as well. I just used it recently. Alright. Now I have a ton of ColourPop palettes. I don't think I'll be getting rid of any of these. This is Blowing Smoke and Or Kid You Not, which the mirror fell out of. Oh my god. I need to glue the mirror back in, but I haven't had time. But that's what Or Kid You Not looks like. I have Wine and Only, which looks like that. This shade, by the way, down here, so good. Alright, in the Limelight, this one kind of frustrates me because I feel like it should have been better quality, but I mean, I guess I can get it to work, so I'm going to hang on to it for now, but I really wish it was a little bit more vibrant, like neon. Then, of Quartz, definitely hang on to this one. I love these smoky cool tones, so we'll hang on to that. And what else is in this kind of color story here? The All Amethyst palette looks like this. I really liked this one. Some other people didn't get along with it too well, but I thought it was really nice, so I'm going to hang on to that. Next, let's talk about Lock It Down, which I thought was a really pretty palette with some pops of purple in it. Kind of similar to the mauves, but I feel like this one is a little bit more vibrant than this one. We'll see. I kind of want to put this mauves one in the maybe pile because I feel like I have so many other things that are mauve that maybe I don't necessarily need to keep it because I kind of like how this one looks better. So we'll keep that. This one's going in the maybe pile. And we kept Wine and Only, Or Kid You Not, and Blow and Smoke. Next up, the Mar palette looks like this, and it's a combination of blues and kind of some orangey shades. And then I have High Tide, which goes like a little bit more teal, but these are definitely two that give me like those ocean vibes. So I'm going to hang on to both of those. Then I have two other blue palettes. I have On Cloud Blue, which looks like this, and the Blue Moon palette, which looks like this. They are definitely like sisters, you know what I mean? Very pretty. This shade is supposed to be, I think, a glitter, but it's a really, really fine glitter, so I think I can get away with that one. So I'm going to keep that one as is. We have two purple palettes here, Lilac You a Lot, which looks like this one, and then It's My Pleasure, which looks like that. Now I'm trying to dupe out these two purple shades, so let me see. Maybe this one, maybe this one, maybe this one. I don't think any of these quite compares to the other purple palette, so I think I'll hang on to them, but I think I'm going to hang on to the Sweet Violets as well, since I haven't found like perfect dupes yet. Then I have two of the green palettes, Meant to Be and Just My Luck. Just My Luck looks like that, and I like the sort of olivey khaki additions there. And then Meant to Be, which looks like that, super cute. I have two of the brown ones here. I've got Going Coconuts, which looks like that. Very, very neutral. And that's Taupe, which looks like that. This is definitely pulls me in a little bit more than Going Coconuts does. So I'm going to keep That's Taupe. Do I want to keep Going Coconuts, though? Brown is pretty. It's like a kind of a coffee brown. But what do the shimmers look like in That's Taupe? See, That's Taupe has a Super Shock in it too, which I like. Yeah, so I think I'll let go of Going Coconuts because I have so many other palettes, I probably won't even miss it. Alright, so then let's talk about what's left. We've got Ooh La La here, which this shade always wants to come out, so I'm always like pushing it back. But this palette is very pretty. I love the pinks with like a couple pops of more like mauve-y purples, so hang on to that one. We've got Honey, which looks like this. It's got an enormous glitter in here, which I definitely can't use. This Sunburst shade is a little different because it has like sort of a blue shimmer in it, which is kind of interesting, but it's not that really light, bright kind of gold yellow that I wanted. I do like this palette though otherwise, so I'm going to hang on to this one since I'm getting rid of Lemonade. And what I wanted to try to do was take some of the shades out of these palettes here and consolidate all the pressed glitters into one of these palettes so that I could use some of these other shades in the palettes and get rid of the pressed glitters within these palettes, because I think Orange You Glad has one too. Yeah, Clementine right there, which is an enormous glitter, so that definitely needs to go. And then Main Squeeze, do you have a glitter? Nope. Baby Got Peach has a glitter, it's Hungry Ghost, which looks like that. I tried using it for a nail polish, it didn't work out. But the rest of this palette is cute, so I'll hang on to that, but I need to get rid of the glitter for sure. And then Strawberry Shake looks like this, no glitters. I love this shade in here too, super cute. So I have three pressed glitters that I need to get out of these palettes and consolidate, so I'm going to work on that at some point here today. But I will otherwise be keeping these. We're going to keep Strawberry Violet. Making mauves, I think I can go ahead and declutter because I think I have enough other things that are mauve-like that I don't need to keep everything that I own that's mauve-like, so we'll let this one go as well. And then Ace Beauté Scarlet Dusk, still looking out for these two, so I haven't decided yet. But yeah, that's everything for this video. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and definitely keep an eye out because we're going to be having some more palette videos coming out very, very soon.